said, I'm going to Florida. My son was born down here. I had a home on the beach. I went back up north to take care of my mother. She doesn't appreciate nothing. She never got over her life. I don't even know her life. My family does not know what I'm about. My father knew. We're always well together. And a lot of people don't realize that.
So it's hidden in the treasure. With you, it's a treasure box. I'm assuming so, but that's not an accurate way of saying something.
I don't need a castle. I never did. They knew it.
So how do they personalize the characters and the personalities after all of the above? Because they're all a tribute of a legendary time, even if it's not legendary at the moment. So obviously there's somewhere everything is settled. I mean, I've been looking into the bank system, I've been looking into the theaters, I've been looking into Florida Gulf Coast University, Hodges, which is my favorite. Right across the street, the resort is also one of my favorites. I think it's the Hilton's, I'm not sure. So, like, I have this reputation of the location and architecture and structure.
You gotta get people to fund.
Exactly where I'm at now. I've been like wondering, is they're saying that the bank have now a notary system for public, and you don't have to have an account. So there's a funding from the government, and there's a funding from the federal bank system. That's where it becomes complicated because the energy you're putting behind it comes with the actual evidence.
Yeah. She does not like me smoking.
Yeah.
She was my friend's daughter. I loved her from the day she was born, but I had to walk away from her mother. I talked to her on the phone for years.
Yeah.
I said, I'll help you with your daughter and your loveless marriage. You help me make my son man. She's trying to get him in the army since October. I babied him, I protected him. Because I thought, I grew up with no love.
So where did it originate? Huh? In Denver? The first family line?
My family line, 1% in toilet
Father?
I found out they use our genes. They combined us together because it makes us. I was told I was 100% Polish. I found out I had German. I found out that I have Latino in me. There's a tribe called Basque in France. Basque. It's
Is it in the middle of the state?
No, it's on the Alps. It's on the mountainous side in between Spain and France.
Right.
So I was told I was a dumb Polish. They called them dumb Polacks. Everybody was a slave. Every ancestor was a slave. When they mix you, you become smart. If you read history, read it. You'll see princes were deformed. I have so much walking information.
What was your father's, what do you say his teaching was? Was he a master at martial arts?
My mother,
boxing?
She met him. Someone told me, your mother marched up when she got her claws into your father. She marched up. He says, I don't have to go to work. Where do you work? She went up to, he was a truck driver in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He couldn't read or write because his father, my grandmother, died. He was raised in the streets. My mother marched up to his work on a Friday afternoon. What time does Andy have to be at work? Monday? He'll be there half hour early. My mother only cared about money, society. She was taught to graduate high school and marry a hard-working man, have all the kids she can have, and you sit home, and her life is done. My mother stares out the window. She's never taught me to cook, clean, smile, never spoke a nice word to me. My father, on the other hand, he took us camping, fishing, but he yelled all the time. He was a hard worker. I also found out my line, I have Basque in Spanish.
What made it so significant? The landmark?
I just wanted, you get to a certain point in your life when people tell you you're a dumb Polish. I said, Mom, I said, you may have some Polish. I'm Irish and Polish, just like this, the one I'm with. I'm trying to change her. Society makes you be quiet. When I told them, when I learned genetics, I told them. They helped me, people, online. I was very bright. I didn't let anybody know how bright I was. Never used big words. I never did. I never told anybody you're wrong. Do it this way.
Yes, and quite frankly, that must mean today it was backwards yesterday. So today, it is a generation of backwards in the future, backwards present. Because it's historical, you're saying that, because you're repeating the same word again. That's how I counted. Like, they always told me 6 times is where the doctors come in. Anything in school, repeated 6 times in one book, is where your conversation becomes significant.
I always wrote things down. I write. I met my best friend when I was 6 years old. She lived 3 doors in the city. The houses are close together. It was cold up north. I was always cold on my life. I don't want to live here. I came here to raise my son. And I went back to another island up north.
So what would the ordinary day? The ordinary day be? You would just draw.
I am just sitting. I think of things.
Right.
I just think of things like I'm talking to you. The internet is the only thing that moves as fast as my brain. You understand? They sat me in front of a computer. I grew up in the ghetto, honey. The ghetto. They moved Puerto Ricans in my neighborhood. It was a working class neighborhood, but they were poor people, scraping by. I wanted to know what life was about. If you want something, you go for it and you don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
But if you want to own something, you already have ownership too. And you configure the both.
I'm related to the chemist.
That is not a
from Germany. I don't want the money, but they thought I wanted his money. I wanted to know where I came from. That's all I wanted to know, what life was about. I don't need a luxury house. I had a taste of it. I'm happy with me. I was a hairdresser. I was beautiful. I was told I was an ugly baby because I looked like my father. Side of the family, dark. I have not laid out in 9 years. I had a stroke at 49. I couldn't have kids. Somebody blessed me with a child when I was 40. That's my child. He's touched like me, he just don't know words. When he told me how he thinks, I knew. They changed his blood. They didn't change me. They changed his bloodline. I had 2 rare genetic disorders. They told me at 49, they said, you need to be on Social Security. We don't want you working. You can't work. I sat there 9 years depressed. I'm 58. My father knew what I was doing. And he started yelling at me one day. I grew up in South Philadelphia. Little Italy. I put so many people away because they knew I blended.
Wow.
I thought I was. If you look at the map, Pole, it used to be called Poles.
So how'd they who
Slaves. We were all slaves.
So it was you're foretold in
I'm still on still.
the American father, the fathers of America, the founders of America.
I looked like his father. books they put out. The first black woman who was a millionaire. You can learn from critters. You learn your history. You know where you come from. That's what satisfied me and made me happy with life. I have so much crap in me. And they didn't want me to know. They didn't want me to learn. I had to wait a year before I went on Google. They didn't want me on there. You can ask Google the dumbest question. They answer it to the best of their ability. I went beyond their ability. And life is what you make it. If you know that you did something 100% and you gave it your all.
So now how do you classify that? How do you put arrangements in your agenda with your calendar and within? Because that's where I would pinpoint at. And I had Pinterest in mind, which is an app that you download on Apple or Android devices.
You ask them.
Because somehow the representatives aren't hearing the message, but they're the representatives. And this is like withdrawing, because power to me was never unfamiliar. It was always familiar. And now I'm like, what is so?
That's what's stuck in my mind.
Because you are a conqueror and you've already made so many accomplishments. And the accomplishments are the only patterns anyone coming after you can have in their possession.
The world.
But it's a belligerent action of anyone to take action of.
You're too small. You're too small.
Because why not, if it's yours, then it's yours. Then why not, if it's yours, it could be someone else's? Why does it sit where it has to be?
You're not from, I don't know, their money. They created this country for stability, for us to learn, to be all that we can. They created. Life is difficult. It is very hard. But I have a feeling you already know that, and you're very smart, and you know what you need to do. Right? Stop wondering and just do it. Go for it.
Well, yeah, that is true. I did figure a good administration representative. Telecommunication.
I discuss so much, what do you call it, an NA agreement, non-disclosure agreements. They didn't want me back on the internet because I was telling people if you tell somebody you're African American, what is African American? We are evolved from somewhere.
Yes. They did make it up so many different times.
They took years. They took centuries from us.
So where is the Barnes and Nobles from here? Because that's where I need to be. I've been screaming that for the longest. Why am I receiving a blessing as a message? And everyone else is a blessing included. But when it's supposed to be included, there's a big argument.
And there's always will be an argument. There always will. If you know in your heart, did it.
Right.
But in today's society, which it always has been since they created, I've said I want to know who I am. I want to know why I made myself learn 4 languages at a drop of a dime by 6 years old to impress my grandfather. I heard he was German. You know what I found out? I found out they grow us. We are from the earth. We are a walking virus with brains. We were created from the ground. From the ground. I don't know what they tell you on social internet, this, that. I learned that I was taken from a tribe in Anatolia to breed with another breed. The more you breed, the more they think that we're smart. Maybe it is true. It is true, because if we were just one person from not integrating, where I grew up, it was Italians. I had the Italians over here, which I fell in love with their food, everything, and then on the other side, I had Puerto Rican people. I spoke their language. I mixed with Italians. And then when I got on the subway, I went with the higher class. I learned their ways.
Right, it's been so many years.
Yeah, you learn history and you know that there are rules that they want you to abide by.
This is why I specify it. Every time I see you're very aligned in the same ethic. And that is the origin of how someone learning of any type of society or any type of race and ethnicity, both in the same is the only way to remain. You know, like in anything out of belligerent patterns, they contrast and compare that same significance. And it's like a bounce. And you want to play basketball so good. You want to learn how to have an actual
life
playbook.
And that's where I tell you, you believe in somebody created you, you believe in him. You don't have to be, I was taught, my dad said, where I grew up, you were Catholic. I wasn't Catholic. I said, this isn't my God, Dad. Why do I have to go to church every Sunday with a net? Why, Dad? Because it's the way you have to be and present yourself. I worked at Hahnemann Hospital. It's closed down now. Hahnemann University. I worked for a very smart man, Isidore Brodsky. He wanted my blood all the time. He used to yell. So he had 6 tending physicians on the 14th floor. We were head of the cancer department. He wanted my blood all the time. I said, why does he want my blood? Oh, I'll pay you. I don't want your money. He deposited so much money into my account. He was specializing in cancers of the blood. He knew. You think somebody could have told me? They do basic physicals. They left out my 2 bloodlines because why? They say it's too much money. They don't want you to know. Life is what you make it. And I've learned. I told my dad, I'm not white, Dad. I'm not white. I'm a person. They're raised to believe that. The more you learn, the more, if you want to learn. But you can sit there and ponder over it all day. I know it's hard to make a living. You probably got so many ideas and creations. They know it, but they want to keep us down.
Discover so many other,
they wouldn't have let me on the internet.
So many other talents don't coexist a talented structure. And that is the complicated part, because I don't take no medicine for my headache. And it feels like it. It feels like when something's picked up, it doesn't necessarily have to mean what you have already defined. And it don't necessarily have to stay where you already have a structure. So like, you have to understand what you're picking up.
Yes.
And it's difficult because you have to know the physical part of what you're walking away with. You know? So it's like you don't really walk away to pick up something. You learn you walk away for your own destiny.
Life is hard.
Yeah, and the stories, you want to write them down. I try to take notes every day. I got a bag full.
I was told I was stupid. I started writing one day. I wrote books and books. One day, I said, I'm going to learn about religion. I learned. I wrote the Bible. I wrote it, read it. Stupid. Just didn't happen. You know? The cross. Who knows? Who knows? They know what they did to us. And I told them in 1672. That date means something to me. I just looked it up again. I was related to what's his name? Wilhelm von Hoffman. They said he was an orphan, but he had 17 brothers and sisters. I don't even remember. Where were the brothers? Where was he? Back then, The Jews, they dispersed them all over the world. They were hidden in Poland, where my great-grandfather was hidden. The world created. They wanted, if you look back at medieval times, do you know what they used women for? For men. To breed, to have sex. That's what it was about, but somebody said no. It seems to me the women are smarter, but today men are just as smart. They might not be rugged men. Sit there like this, look. Remember your history. I said Hoffman. Hoffman? And I looked at the other scientists that contributed to him. He invented dyes that they put in food today. They don't want to hear that. They gave him a new type. They donated money to what he knew. I learned genetics over the summer. In 4 months, what it took someone all their lives to learn. They know what I look up. Do you know why they created the cell phones? I had a beeper when I was growing up. A beeper. I was the first one in my neighborhood with a beeper. I was the second one with a mobile phone this big. I didn't care. It was in my pocketbook. I had a big enough pocketbook. I helped them. They used to mail me these phones to use for free. I never had a bill until after my stroke. I got to pay for internet now. Why do I have to pay for internet? They track you. They know what you are. They know how smart you are.
Yeah.
My son, I didn't want him to be that smart.
But they carry a trait
Yes.
in a DNA that is like a symbol of illustration and demonstrations. Because it isn't like commonly. No, obviously they should know.
When I'm stressed.
They should know that deteriorating something also means disaffecting the perfection. And I don't like the disinfection because I sometimes don't feel comfortable when I don't take a shower soon enough. You know, and I don't think it should be someone else's comfortability to tell me the same thing about myself.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here like, why is the combination so good for the separation when we're all different individuals?
The first American tribe that I grew up with, their noses were spread across their faces like this. I guess they were not mature enough. They were so afraid of society. I remember I was in kindergarten. They integrated our schools. I said, oh, look at them. They're beautiful. I said, oh my, they were my friends. I would go to the house, eat, sneak out. My mom was passed out the door. My brother, I was his son. He was a biker in the 70s. They used them to transport methamphetamines. They want to know how the drugs come in, so they let them sell them. You remember when they say they are in Cuba right now? Stuff was going on. It was finalized in 2000. They let them grow the drugs. They let them produce it.
Right.
To see how it comes back to the United States.
So now the related is insinuated in a controversy.
You are about
The context is you're closer,
Yes.
and I'm closer to you,
Yes.
and anyone else coming is closer to us in relativity. But it's not an actual factor for those who are in power to say they can't remove something, because young people been fighting that path.
Yes.
Up and down on a bicycle.
When I was young, we had heroin. Those people weren't. Do you ever look on the internet and see the people slumped over with their heads down? Kensington was called. You look it up. Kensington drugs. They were supplying them the drugs to make them better. They want to take out people. Weak minds, strong
It's
minds.
perfecting it so much that it is not a of so to this day, and they're saying it is of so in a way.
Our president is someone who was raised for money.
Encounter, if we're both saying something intelligent,
Yes.
they have to understand that the banking system is in control of people.
Exactly.
And they're not uplifting this conversation
No,
to say it
they're not.
every way.
And they know. I was on the phone with people's pagers. I knew what I was doing because I was so stuck. I don't think I'm done. I just smiled. I had a stroke at 49. I have two rare blood disorders. I am negative. That's no big deal. I knew something was the matter with me the way I bled. I had a stroke at 49. They said I have factor V alignment. What is factor V alignment? People that draw blood are told, test the blood. When it comes, something's wrong. They know. They knew what they did. They know how they bred us. They knew where they bred. There's islands. There are islands where they tell you don't go near them people. They don't want to be a part of society. They don't want them yet to be part of society because they're not done mixing and breeding.
One second.
If you're smart, absorb. You're just like me. What? Oh, I have to go. Her daughter's home by herself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. No, I'll just finish that one. Thank you.